The people want him back. They are ready for him.
His Excellency Samura Kamara, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
One, you touch candle, you touch and move. We will suffer. Who is going to? We will want change. We'll let it left we are.
Yes, hello me family, una cabo again. This now with election coverage part 3. Of course, this now the third time we come to now today in a row. Of course, welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network, the place where we bring Africa live to whosoever you day around the globe. Today has been a big day in Sierra Leone. Of course, a very critical decision-making day in the country. The day where Sierra Leoneans then went into the polls to vote for the next set of leaders. We're going to mantle the responsibility of leading Sierra Leone for the next 5 years. Of course, today they vote exclusively in the country. Plenty complaints that they were coming today from, around the country. Of course, the presidential candidate of the Sierra Leone People's Party, retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio, we begin to get report today that police then begin for storm who side them be there in campaign team who side they be strategize for know how the election they go. They begin for storm that very building. Up to now, we're not able to get details of the kind of attack as it was alleged by the chairman of the SLPP National Campaign Team, Dr. Ali Kaba. Now I begin for talk to we today. And of course, also today we're able to cover plenty side in the country. And of course, we're able to see Wusai police officers, they go into clash with some other, polling agents. Then we say, then we get election materials inside a particular vehicle, now a particular area in Sierra Leone. We also see, say, inside Lunsar, there were skirmishes. We see some Sierra Leoneans, they hold sticks, now they and the other one, and they throw a stone at each other. We be no say skirmishes, then be day, now then side and day. And of course, some side where they elect, say, an election officer being get for, train or kind of teach people how then for vote, where it be say not to be in your role that one day. The role of teaching people how for vote by this election, now the role of the individual political parties, them not to the National Electoral Commission. So that one they said we get for raise concern. On the overall, of course, the election take place in the country today. Election be closed at 5 p.m. And of course, the polling officers, them together with the polling agents, them, they all depend count the votes, them, and of course, tally the numbers, them. According to how this whole process get for unfold, or the way that they carry out the process, it's not like back in the days where people that don't vote, then they take the ballot boxes and travel with them and go na the other tally center, which side then they count the votes them. In this election, just like how it been happened during the days of James Jonah in 1996, this election, who side the people then they vote, that very polling station, they're not the commodity, now they all man they tin up the observers, the polling agents, the election officers, now they all they tin up, then count all the votes them, then write all the numbers then down. The polling agents then append and signature in agreement with the count where they don't count. And of course, all that result day that the full and put her inside a sealed bag. That bag then nobody not able for open and pass, then can go now the headquarters, now National Electoral Commission headquarters, right? So, but before the chief electoral officer or the chief electoral officer, where now the chairman of the National Electoral Commission, they actually even know the result of voting at different polling stations. The party agents then go don't already know. So up to today now, we're not able to get some results then they come in. We're not able to tell exactly, but by tomorrow, we pray that we're able to begin to get some of them results there, and we're able to make some projections. Even though the National Electoral Commission don't talk, say it will take about a week for at least able for know whether not the next president na Sierra Leone. And so that's going to go on, throughout this week. But today now be a big day, and of course some of the issues that will be there by this election. Of course, some of the issues them now on poverty, hunger, corruption, and of course starvation on the part of people, lack of education, healthcare. Now some of the issues that will be there by this election. Of course, the presidential candidate of the All People's Congress, Dr. Samura Kamara, been there in village today, na Kamalo in the Northern Province. Now they even get for vote. Of course, they say na in Mama go na the polling station. If Mama wait for him, a vote first, then in Mama vote. And of course, so it was a beautiful day in Sierra Leone. Apart from all the other things, they will not hear for, so not hear any other thing yet. But all the half of skirmishes we get for no, as police then say, then they investigate. But the other question that arises is, are you going to rely on the police? Because we, Ibrahim Sheriff's broadcast network, which said don't talk to the public relations officer of the Sierra Leone Police Force, when a Superintendent Ibrahim Samura, we talked to him extensively before even the voting day. And all the talk that we been tell we don't find out now, say everything, about 90% of the talks that we tell we not to correct things because of waiting on for today on election day, right? And so now we get to find out if the people then go trust the police then when it comes to issues of this nature. But anyway, the election finally take place in the country today, and of course we cover an we've been get with correspondents them now the country, they report extensively on waiting happen at the country today. So this is now the third session of this broadcast today. So we get for can open the lines for let we fellow Sierra Leoneans then around the globe, for men and go call into the station, let we just have fun, wait till we get for do, we get for actually get a conference number we'll get for put out there. Now that conference number, the 9 you go call, or you go call we line directly, but when you call the conference number go allow about more than 1,000 people to be on the same line, and so the talks that we'll go talk, all man go able for hear all over the world. So we can share that number just now, or you can call we line directly, or if you want to let people then see you on with big screen, you can call with and Skype. All of that information we'll get for can share and with you. But this is not an interactive time. This is not a time where we want for let we all day together and talk about some of the issues, where arise today, waiting at some of the remedies, and waiting at some of the suggestions we go come out from Sierra Leoneans from around the globe. And so me get for dinner also for make sure say we're able to do that today. But once more, I want to say, despite everything else we happen today, when unfortunate things them, I want to say congratulations to Sierra Leoneans in Sierra Leone and all over the world for way we're able to uphold with democratic values. We're able to uphold the tenets of democracy. And of course, since the war in our country, even though with democracy very fragile, but we still continue for uphold them, and that is a good thing. So congratulations to we all. And so, my family, we want for me to continue for stick around as we continue for unfold this part 3 of our election day broadcast coming directly from our elections headquarters. And of course, me Ibrahim Sheriff, I will continue for be your host, Nayaso, exclusively. So stick around with us.
The point. Yeah, parents, election is here, and I know you care. But please, before casting your vote, this message you need to hear and ideas. Election is not a random selection. It is a time to vote, not the court or the name on the coat, but the man in the coat. To vote is patriotism. Please do it with sufficient reasoning and wise thinking, because your vote will rather steer or sink the boat. It is your franchise. So please think twice. Do not sell this country for a bag of rice and bags of lies. Do not be deceived like flies. Vote wise, because if not, we the children will be the ones to pay the price. And to me beloved youth them, una no allow them use una as bait for go vote for your mama in it. Before you vote, read the candidate and vote for the love of the state. Una cold, una hot like Bomba ice cream fridge. Una no go get that on that bridge, planning to stage a siege. Again, do not be fooled with alcohol, because now true that Tokupa una don't fall. Una for there with one voice. Convince you company through your word without spilling your blood. Because to vote, you only need your sense and not violence.
Right, exactly. All you need now your sense and not to violence. Of course, we want to say plenty thank you out there to the young, talented Sierra Leonean lady. Of course, you know, one thing we admire upon this election, a lot of sensitizations happen per this election, a lot of awareness. And it don't look like, say, now we the big one them, we don't fail for do with duty. And so now we picking and then they advise we how for behave with safe. So I think say that now a very good advice. Of course, we get Leoneans in self is sing, say let us stop the fet, the chuk. You know, I like them kind way and the way they picking and they inspire we. But anyway, me family, before we open the line, let us talk about some numbers then. I also, you know, we're very important for this election. Let us talk about those numbers. Let us start with the 2015 population and housing census report where statistics Sierra Leone began for issue. And out of that number, the way the voter registration take place. And of course, from there, now the determination for day as to who is going to be the next president of Sierra Leone. Now, according to the statistics Sierra Leone 2015 population and housing census report, a report say now out of the 4 regions in Sierra Leone, 2,502,805 people then they register, you know, then count under the population and housing census. Now they wanted in the count now Northern Province, and of course coming down to Eastern area or Eastern Province, then count 1,641,012 people or household, or 12 people generally we can say. Now then count now Eastern Province, and of course going to Southern Province, then count 1,438,572 people in Southern Province. And of course in a Western area, of course they begin for count 1,493,252 people now then count now then areas then they. So these are the numbers where statistics Sierra Leone began for report as the numbers then for the 2015 population and housing census where then conduct now the country. Now then numbers then date and so important to the voter registration actually or voter registration report also, or the certified voter registration numbers then we NEC begin for certified, NEC when at the election body where then certified. So instead we go for take a look at them exclusively, of course, for let we know where we stand or what are the possibilities of would that go be the next president. Of course, these are the certified numbers by the National Electoral Commission. Now then numbers they are, they say now the numbers then this way when the voter registration numbers, of course, you know, say they begin forget a total of 3,128,967 people registered to vote, and that number they include with brothers and sisters who've been travel from the diaspora where then go back now the country and register. So the total number now that, but I say about 5% of that number they not go collect the voter registration cards. And then today we understand saying that the Northern Province, some people they not even turn out for vote. They say the voter turnout in the Northern Province be kind of very low, very poor, kind of, you know, not poor, but some people they not turn out for actually go vote in the Northern Province. We get that report. Southeastern, we see they say a lot of people turn out for vote. In fact, they say some people then grab way around 4 a.m. for me to make sure so they go able to nap in a line early and able for cast them votes. Right now that we don't really come in, but according to the certified report from the National Electoral Commission, they're able for register in the Northern Province. Now, according to NEC, they divide Northern Province into 2 regions. Then get Northern Province and Northwestern region, right? Northwestern region, they are around the Port Local areas, then very close to Freetown. You know, so then divide them into 2. But when they divide them into 2 and put the 2 numbers then together, it came up to 998,760 people registered in Northern Province and Northwestern region for vote per this election. How about in the Eastern Province? Eastern Province, 619,229 people registered to vote in this election. And of course, Southern Province, 620,826 people registered to vote in the 2018 elections. Of course, Western area, Freetown and the environment, 890,152 people registered in this election. Now, when you look at these numbers, what this number they represent here is that very critical. When you look at the key political parties then when are the predominant political parties then at the country, you go find out say then get you go able for make a little projection, even though we might not be scientifically right, but we'll go able to make a little bit of projection. Now, what is happening in the northern province and northwestern region here? This is the stronghold of the APC, the All People's Congress, way now the incumbent political party, and of course inside this stronghold here then get serious threats now this stronghold because of the emergence of the National Grand Coalition and the Alliance Democratic Party, the ADP. So then two political parties then they pull strong support from that northern region, even though some of them they still get support in the western area as well. But so the APC gets a threat from two other political parties, especially the National Grand Coalition. You know, then they get a lot of votes from the axis there, especially cutting across from here all the way, this northwestern region, where densely populated, then get a lot of votes from there, taken away from the APC. And with the news, what the Sheriff for say, some people did not turn out for votes in the northern province. That news is even bad for the APC in this area. But anyway, so the eastern province and the southern province, this is now the stronghold of the Sierra Leone People's Party, where now the main opposition political party for now, but for now we're not to opposition anymore, but one of the key political parties, predominant political parties in the country. The SLPP now get this area, but SLPP also they face a threat from the former vice president of the country, where get a young political party now this corner axis, when at the Coalition for Change. Now yeah, so then they, and you know, by historical evidence, the Connaught districts they not elect for align themselves too much with Kenema and Kailahun district. They not elect, even though now the provincial headquarter with Kenema, plenty time where something happened, either then can go McKinney or then can go Freetown. So now a swing state. According to the electoral history of Sierra Leone, Connaught has always been a swing state. They're not a plague their allegiance to one person definitely. They can change. So we know say they elect them brother, you know, Alhaji Samuel Samsumana, we get the Coalition for Change. So there is the potential that Alhaji Samuel Samsumana go able to take away a lot of votes from the SLPP in this Connaught axis. Right? So even though SLPP now in stronghold this, but instead they face that threat they right about this time. Now, for Freetown, when at the most populated area, all man get for shape now this Freetown. You know, I mean, when we look at the rallies, then within the whole na Freetown, you know, I mean, they look at one way, you know, somebody they say, dance for Samora, vote for Madabio. Now, if they go by that rhetoric there, then of course that means SLPP get votes in this area as well. And of course, APC get votes now. All man get for shape in this area. So if then shape now, then shape outside, it is likely for say nobody not go able for pull the 55% inside this first election. So there is the likelihood for say we go get a runoff. This is not just a prediction. We might be very wrong, but based on all the the data we don't analyze and the talks that we were able to get from with correspondents then today, now that's not the analysis where we feel say go come up. There is the likelihood for say there will be a runoff in the country because nobody not really too sure. I mean, if Alhaji Samuel Samsumana not been there with the Coalition for Change and the Connaught axis, it is possible for say Madabio or the SLPP therefore they're able to grab substantive votes now the southeastern region and then get some from Freetown. And then there is the potential for say then go get some half votes in even in Northern Province. So maybe that's for them able for carry and go over the 55% mark. But as far as this present time is concerned, we are not very sure. In fact, one of we reporters that we did at Kenema, Sheikh Utangabe, is seriously advised for let's put other resources that in place for let's begin for prepare for a runoff election, right? And so now that's now the the projections that we'll get for now coming directly from our elections headquarters right here in Houston, Texas. And of course, if I'm with them, just like I would don't say, we all get for profile with views on this election today. Anything where you want for say, where they uplift Sierra Leone as a country. When are your personal opinion about this election? We can open the lines, and of course, you go calling and say what you want for say. If you want for let people then see you where you talk, of course you go do on by you know, through Skype. With Skype ID in Sherix Web Radio. Okay, 2 words, Sherix, SHERIX, and then Web Radio together in 1 word, Web Radio, 1 word. So now Sherix Web Radio, now with Skype ID, you look for it on Skype, you get for download Skype application, then you search for we, you see we, you click on we, for that will go become your contact. Of course, we will accept you, and then you go call, and we will put you on the screen. You say what you want for say, all right? Or if you want for call on the telephone, you can call on the telephone, and we'll get for can share the number. So now this now some of the ways that we want for handle this today. This now election day, historical day. You waiting at the diaspora. Don't ever look down on yourself. Now we all them born as Sierra Leone. Now we country, and if we put we hands there on deck for make sure say this country go before, there is no need for like other mind country. We've all for they done our country. God don't give we everything we need. And so you waiting at the diaspora, then half money they all the same back home, it is circulate. Even person where you not send that money to it, they end up for benefit from it because the money goes into circulation. So you are very important for this election. And of course, by every 2 days, it's possible to say by next election, 5 years from now, sometime we say within at the diaspora, we'll be able to left here and vote by election. And that. So once more, I'm Ibrahim Sheriff, and this now some of the analysis we'll get from the data we'll get now. So stick around with us, all right?
Vicky, the point. Yeah, parents, election is here. I know you care.
Sugar music.
Them in the sell out bloody and governments, not all see for blame governments for them, so pass smack.
And now, right from the horse's mouth.
You mentioned that when you saw the state or somebody's lie during your campaign, you felt it was unforgivable. Who or what will you blame for that? But I'm being
what I don't try na kuma. It's a like a day when I go big diamond lost in a room. Everybody do it. Election coming sooner. It's a like a day when I go 99 silent pattern. Everybody do it. You want get to pass me weather. It's a like a day when I go. The people say them tired. Everybody do it. Man, no one left the power. Man's hot for the power. No one go, you want for super. We the one we go secure in pockets. So in hand still go dep on the power. I mean them being say it's tired. Not to like I say we no. Only dirty thing them and then they do how the country go grow. Then on the girl side and then juju now them dirty to forgo. They want fat in the pig on no markets. They this to go to work don't do it. I don't know what now they belly they no more nobody good work. Bye bye for my me. We don't suffer too much upon this guru up. One mama don't be good, don't do it. Where them they show it and can't, they like say, Caesar the advantage man, the people and say, now we the we know say the pan not to all team the bag, no but if a packet for him people man them life them for they grow. But to them sit down for thief and do anyhow no hesitation. Busy they cook for jama, poto rest sour soup. Where we they grumble they say he left 40 more year from manipulate. They know I make a man them elevate. They know I make begin them educate. When man them sit down they meditate. Them some corner one then go eat people them money for go make a. Don't then come put to toll gate up on toll gate. The country had it like the concrete. People them they run go away to where them no say them dump well. Then send them and go bump picking at the states. Ranka one then they generate. So man they no get chance for vibrate. The way we they feel, no psychiatrist no able evaluate. Wait by the power na chocolate we want if man bet. He peel the packet, give the other one back. What I don't try na kuma. It's a little bit where I know one big diamond lost in a room. Everybody like election coming sooner. It's a little bit where I know one 99 silent pattern. Everybody like you want get to pass me weather. It's a little bit where I know one. The people say them tired. Everybody like them say the man at the top say me they not give me national stadium. Just because the baba not free for bow. Big man no vex ya, not to all man go bow. Some of free not to only get a big mouth. Man, them don't left palebelete, they left we all for money. Because them be one's position. Political connection. Also for the brown envelope collection. I see man then they battle corruption. While the country they ban relegation. Then guys they want play with we intellects. With the money they want buy the election. They want play with for formation. Then they pull all kind of pattern for the election. One big fool. This good work don't do it. No more nobody good work. We don't suffer too much upon this good work. One mama don't we good don't do it. Where then they show it and can't and they like say no. Seize advantage upon the people and say now we no say the pan a mortal man, not all things the bag or no, but if a park for him people man them life them you don't touch we bad, but you fail we bad. We been the feel say you go tell we say sorry, say you go die for you bully way up, but you bully way. Make an lie just can seize big advantage, can we no more. Oh, how thing got connecting to Tomoko Patika connecting. All I am a finum, Titan. All I am a list, I will take a ticket. The band sets a men long touching. The bike about the mutation. So from Suye Uncle Taisu. Our Maraneba, Catolanian. I know say make you no campaign, but wait for so. I buy or don't eat all the flesh, man. The rooster. Now they dance to a guy, but the booster. 10,000 one polo for moral booster.
Or what will you blame for that? But I blame government.
Now they dance to a guy on the booster. 10,000 one polo for moral booster. Everybody like Italy Gambo. Italy Gambo. Everybody like Italy Gambo. Because we know see the song will end if I'm not talking nothing. We do remember with that Brabin just win the American presidency. When they threaten with people them say, I seen win so they send them come back now the African countries them. The kind and got to fumble them in the pan not being small. But then they all don't pass now. Next thing we call we na shit hole. You see? Fiti I don't begin inside. But even though he molest we, he still talk true. He say we leaders then they thief money but keep on at them country. He say we institutions they're not the work and we not even able to feed we self. He say already we they eat na import we they import them. That man they na Fiti I man but he talk true. Bottom line they don't notice say every day we they run away from our own countries then for go flop them country. Because of the hardship and corruption problems so we leaders then don't put with them. Media family we don't accept the corrupt system where they always say we are lawyer if fast I'll not ever change. If you not be no this today. We family self where they overseas them don't tire for send money for we. We feel say being family we don't take overseas. One for sit down with man country. Pankol, they make the one with the thief we then ready and say now we get the problem. Because we they look so man so big we not so to Superman this way for all this country. We say because our party put out the vote for her. The reason why we talking now for like no go vote for man because when now we need you can't give small money you fool you grab go vote for him. After election we change and we all man they all begin suffer. Then you begin cry poor add up and angry. You see man in a street and you begin say guy your body wait till they happy now. Go me man go wait till go you back go left go no you know do that this way. Left you don't do that left and I hope say the parliamentarians the way they represent you in the different constituencies there who they send a parliament and then one day we get integrity we go really there for represent the people not so man we go for good to get good and we get a small tea for change the law enough favor the people they say yes the country is so bigger what cannot do nothing good not they happen except for the one day with the TV. And when some of you can don't hustle, you hustle. Cause any IP frog must join. You don't make a budget for your life. You don't cut this, you don't put a you don't take this, you don't fix some banana. You say, confirm. Forget, you must turn around and see something they make you heart die. Bad man, they must chop you, cause it's not easy. So let man then think I'm we see during the Ebola crisis about 4,000 people dying at this country. And we are aware that the international community spent not less than $1.3 billion for fight the disease and for support with healthcare system. And not say $1.3 million, or I say $1.3 billion.
And the United Kingdom alone, UK, spent £470 million on the recovery process. And we all know who and them puts the money directly at the Grand Chief Receiver himself. Not forgetting the funds them with Sierra Leoneans all over the world then raise for fight the disease safely. And the Salone government also dedicates huge sum of money from the country bust towards the Ebola crisis we make after the Ebola. Government announced austerity and say Salone don't pour we not get harder. And yet, the healthcare system now point the team back to the point that the Ebola survivors then take with government to ECOWAS court this past December. And unfortunately for we, 2 years after the Ebola, mudslide strike again, and about 1,000 people die back. And with all that money, ambulance safe now they forgo bury the people. Now the international community with the trust we money, and then Soyat organization, then don't ask Santa we force. Then say no go arrange yourself fine. Because man and they bring trust money in the name of development. We then give them the money they can spend on my personal plans. Look for example, that Bodo building one at Bill Swaz on our office. Why not the biggest university or the biggest hospital? Forget the country, let's say sub-region. Let man begin shoot for excellence that is sub-region, like I use for me. Let man begin come out Nigeria, Ghana and Senegal for can school and salon or come for medical checkup. Yeah, Allah respect me say flash slogan, cause all the time they talk so it sound like Japanese na Somalis. And I know see man in here Japanese. So then
yes, of course, them if family then good do. Of course, that Emerson Bakari, of course, now latest that one day. You know, say when I know say you know, Emerson can always drop the bomb last minute. Of course, that now the latest one where it dropped. Of course, I know say that one they get forget impact on this election at least, you know, because na my way he like for do things just that way. And so, my family, then we don't open the lines, but before we actually go to the lines directly, we want for you know, bring you some videos of some of the things that we will be done the witness today, you know, as a broadcast network, some of the you know, the unfortunate things that will happen on this day today, just for make you go, you know, see for yourself as to waiting at some of things that will happen. I mean, you see, we talked to the you know, the superintendent of police when at the PRO, it talks to the police then get for make sure say everything go fine, you know, people then get the right for me then go vote and that they're not going for intimidate. But then we see plenty of things that happen today. So we get for bring some of them videos then to you half and half. And of course, before we start for take calls them right about this time. So one for me see this one first as the first one ever.
This is a government vehicle now they front me. Look, I'm recover the number plates. And they use them for transport people those villages. SI.
No, Kagbane.
How you call it, huh?
Kagbane.
A Kagbane village?
Yeah, not just Kando. Not make like say this number, you just Kando.
Yeah, then cover a government vehicle, then they use them for transport people. See how people flop? They're not supposed to get past 5 people in a motor car. They're not supposed at all. Yeah. Over 15 people encountered the motor car. This is a government vehicle now they front me.
All right, so my family, that's now one of the videos that we'll be get forget. Of course, you will not say today, no motor car, especially government vehicle, according to the police PRO talk to, even government motor car not be supposed for day on the streets today. And not only that, why you drive motor car, you cover the license plate? Why are you doing that? You only do that because you get something where you do where you're not supposed to do. You are doing something that is wrong. You know, and so the license plates then cover and then put up to 15 people inside the motor car, then go drop them up in a polling station for me then vote. They were not supposed to do that. Now, we cannot say that was a government vehicle, you know, but the only thing we know, say, in Sierra Leone, there are specific vehicles where not only government can get them kind of vehicle and they, no other person, you know, they drive them kind of vehicle and they, so when people then see them, then they know, say, this is not government motor car. But the license plate covered. Now it is a crime. What to make that they put license plates panel numbers then they now because of identity, because of identification. So for letting you cover your means you are actually violating the laws with impunity. And so when we don't see any police arrest motorcar like that kind of day, where they say they put a lot of checkpoints in the country, you know, especially in the provinces. I don't know if they do them na all side in the country, but now that's not the thing will happen. And then now we get this other video.
Ali Kaba, the chairman of the SLPP National Campaign Committee. I want the world to know that we are under attack right now. Our next president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, is at home here in the office here, where we are trying very hard to relax and monitor the elections like any normal democracy. And we saw a first wave of police coming in without a warrant, threatening to enter into the house, where we are using a space, a situation room, to just talk about how things are going, getting phone calls, etc. And they promised that they did not have a warrant, and so they went back with reinforcement, back again with more helmet and armed police coming to attack the place, the small space that we are using to simply talk about how we are going to win this election. This is so outrightly wrong. It is one more indication of the unwillingness of this APC government to accept a simple democratic process. This is election day. Why are you attacking or intimidating the presidential candidate of the Sierra Leone People's Party? They know damn well that they are losing this election. They have lost the mandate of the people, and they know very well that within the next few hours it will be over. So they are trying very hard to create chaos in Sierra Leone, because that is the only chip they have now to play with. So I want the world to know that the APC government is a threat to democracy in Sierra Leone. It's a threat to peace in Sierra Leone. It's a threat to security in Sierra Leone. In effect, this is a government that does not want to leave power. And when you look around here today, simply citizens standing here to defend the retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, to defend the right of the SLPP to operate freely in this country. And when you look behind me, you see the police used and abused and misused by this APC government, just like they did under Shaka Stevens. This is a government, this is a party that does not know how to operate within normal democratic parameters. So my people get to understand that right now the police have escalated their intimidation. They are doing it in the north, the south, the east, the west. Today, in fact, we have received tons and tons of complaints from different constituencies, in fact all 132 constituencies, of intimidation, targeting party leaders, targeting our candidate for parliament and councillors and mayors and district council chairmen. It is so wrong. So I want you all to know that if there is any threat to democracy, if there's any threat to national peace and security, it is engineered by the APC government. And I want the world to rally around SLPP and our presidential candidate at this crucial moment. We hope that the elections will go on well, and that at the end of the day the people will speak. And when they speak, I am confident that SLPP, under the leadership of retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, will govern this country, and will govern it right, will govern it responsibly, will govern it within democratic parameters, giving institutions the autonomy to operate within the parameters of the law, and not have to go out of their way to misuse and abuse their power. So my friends, we are here again. This is the closing chapter on the APC era. They don't want to go quietly, so they are coming to attack us. But we are with the people. We believe in the power of the ballot. Let them continue counting on the bullet. We will resist, but we'll resist peacefully. We'll resist responsibly. We want to make sure that the outcome of this election is determined by the people. Nothing less, nothing more. Let the election be.
Right, of course, that's not the chairman of the National Campaign Committee of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Dr. Ali Kaba. Now, in the talking that is say the SLPP presidential candidate, and they all under attack by the police. And not giving details as to what the nature of the attack was, but of course we see the presence of police now that premise, and we don't know if the presidential candidate, anything will happen with them. But it been give an interview to AYV TV. I mean, we'll go bring that interview they come later to una for Mekuna go see. But this is not just some of the things that will happen today where we need for know. Because my point is, waiting specifically the presidential candidate of the SLPP do, or in campaign team do, where me say police them for storm the area. I mean, I don't know if an intelligence report they get for say they want to do something or they don't want to do something, but even as that, they should immediately issue a report. You know, like how we can see in that first word, whenever police don't go in that kind of way, they don't launch an attack on a potential president of a country during election day, there should be a press conference by the police right away for let the country people that know waiting make them go there and waiting can happen. But we don't see that one day yet. And so we don't know what is going on at this time. But then we continue to get more videos. Of course, we'll get for share more with you before we actually go to talking about them. Then we get this other one.
It will not work. No, it's a criminal offense. The international community is going to know about you. Infa Ali Conte is going to know about you. You are going to jail, sir. Right? Simple, clear. You are going to jail. Yeah? Una go change. Una no one change. Una go change. Damn you and shame on you. Shame on you and damn you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Flip the idea over for me. I want to see. I need to forget you. Flip on. I need to know about that, officer. That guy said uniform. You are a crook, sir. Shame on you. It will not work. No, it's a criminal offense. The international community is going to know about you. Infa Ali Conte is going to know about you. You are going to jail, sir. Right? Simple, clear. You are going to jail. Yeah? Una go change. Una no one change. Una go change. Damn you and shame on you. Shame on you and damn you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Flip the idea over for me. I want to see. I need to forget you. Flip on. I need to know about that, officer. That guy said uniform. You are a crook, sir. Shame on you. It will not work. No, it's a criminal offense. The international community is going to know about you. Infa Ali Conte is going to know about you. You are going to jail, sir. Right? Simple, clear. You are going to jail. Yeah? Una go change. Una no one change. Una go change. Damn you and shame on you. Shame on you and damn you. Shame on you.
Right, of course, that's not the other video we'll get today. Of course, so definitely they're not they explain the details of what they go on parentia. Now either shame on you, the when I get for change, Infa Ali get for no, but now you get for go jail, but what really happen? All right, but we don't say now something will happen way not rare. We're not supposed to happen on election day, as per the dictates of the electoral laws and the rules and regulations where they bind this very election today. Then things will happen, it's not supposed to happen today. But things that happen by this election, and I don't know why people then go be surprised, because some of us are not. We already know that we are going to go through this. And not because we get any malice against the APC, but because the APC then get this kind of record. I mean, from the time when they formed in 1960 up to this day, APC get this record that any time when they in power, when they conduct election, something will come out of it where people then go get some halala, bos and all that in there. So we are not surprised at all. But anyway, this is the other one that we got today. Stick around.
The policeman, this man. Why you taking phone? Yes. This box cannot go inside. This vehicle will go inside. Officer. This box will go inside. This box will go inside. Yeah, you know they go inside. This box and this box they don't count everything when I pull in materials. Listen me, it also even if it no matter. Even if you count cover, you still qualify outside, you know they go inside. Waiting. You don't know what they talk.
All right, and then we see this other one we come, we see the police involved, waiting inside that motor car, waiting on the inside, we don't know what's the inside. You know, so most of the videos that we come today, the people there, they do but they don't explain the details of what is in there. I mean, we not say maybe not election materials and they inside that motorcar, but the police, they insisted that motorcar for go inside that compound. And the civilians, they say, whether not polling agents them, they say nothing, you know, they go inside it. So plenty things that they will go on today where we not get the actual details, but at the same time, we know say something is wrong, right? And then inside Lonsa, now this happened at Lonsa today, me family. Oh, okay. We are very sorry. I mean, we voiced nobody can true. But anyway, We just be to say this now some of the videos that we come on today, and of course this now is some of the things that will happen at the country. And so we don't open the telephone lines now and the Skype line in case you want for call on Skype. The address they up here under Sheriff's Web Radio. And of course, if you want for call the telephone, the number is up there as well. You know, call. We'll talk about the election we happened in our country today. Relatively, it was peaceful, but then we were able to get some half reports them of problems in certain areas, right? So now that happened today. So whilst we wait for may you call, we go to play some. We're going to see other things. Stick around.
It's regarding the Inspector General who is saying that they're in charge of security, blah blah blah. Yeah, which is quite right. But improper that movement and the movement of people stricter and we're not there at war.
Right.
Even during the time where the country they at war, people were afraid. Election day was just like any other day.
3.1 million people were registered. And honestly, problems they can not even reach 1%. Say that as a patriotic Sierra Leonean, as a true Sierra Leonean. But at the background, you get people that don't want to derail the electoral.
They asked me, are you? Why is it that 3 of the top members of C4C are lawyers? There's Judah, there's Kevin, there's me, and a bunch of others in Sierra Leone. My response was this, so that the next president of Sierra Leone that C4C helps to elect understands one thing: we ain't gonna let you break the law.
A good fellow boss.
course, ladies and gentlemen, Sierra Leonean brother, where they do for we out there. Of course, at this point, we get somebody on the line. We just don't call. Hello, who is calling?
My name is Hawa from Maryland.
Okay, Hawa from Maryland. Okay, Hawa, you want to say something on the program?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just to try to talk about the intimidation where they go on in Sierra Leone right now. This intimidation, they don't start from campaign time, where they don't begin to intimidate people. Then we get a lot of complaints from SLPP, NGC. They say APC, they intimidate them. The police, then as they assure we say that they're able for defend with people then, but at the end of the day, no police not able for defend anybody. Are so mad, are so vexed that the embarrassment where they go give retire because their children's father bill today. They're not supposed for do them, they not get right for do them. But anyway, it not surprise some of we because we know say
right.
Although we not be there in life within the talk about APC, but we know say people that they don't talk say now so APC than they do. But really this one is very, very frustrating that one whole flag bearership who is not somebody who is not the main opposition party that they go for go arrest them or do whatever when election day. They not get right for do that. And even if they get right for do that, they get for prove the warrant. But they not prove the warrant, they just go embarrass the man. And not really fear for we the Sierra Leoneans there.
Right.
And not really fear. Now then thing we need for the talk about that. Waiting me they try for talk now is we the Sierra Leoneans and then we back and rise up for our rights. May we not allow APC for intimidating by this election here. Because the election, they not done it. So do you have me family? Let we not allow APC for put we down by this election here. Let we grab a team up for our rights.
Right.
I mean your advice standing.
All right, Howard. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate your comments. We think it's very valuable. Thank you so much. And so, you know, me family and this will they talk. When me they talk about this, I am actually trying to articulate myself to the police of the country. I mean, when they talk about the police of any country, the police is supposed to be independent. They are not supposed to be controlled by any politician or politics. They are supposed to stand up for society. They are supposed to defend the citizens. But if the police, they work under the instructions of the politicians, then of course that police needs retraining. They need to retrain. And don't forget, say, we've been get for disband the army and retrain the army they back. Now there is nothing wrong for disband the police and retrain them back, because if they not simply understand, for say when you're not a police officer, you're not a law enforcement person. You know they work under any specific person. But this is what they are not understanding. But anyway, we are getting another call. If I'm with them. Hello, who is calling?
Hello, this is Dennis Koima from Sydney, Australia.
Okay. Hey, Dennis, how are you?
Oh, good, brother. Thanks for doing it tough, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so you get a comment for me? Go ahead.
Yeah, now regarding the unfortunate development, you know, like sister they say, the police presence now with flag bearer in residence not being called for. But you know, like it say, some of we not surprised at all, because some of we grow up knowing the APC in bad tricks then. So when this thing happen, we know that they do everything for discredit with flag bearer. And the world stands to see the recklessness of the APC, because we know that they're not ever left. Because they don't smell defeat, they not just want to go quietly. I think it's high time they just left quietly for me to maintain at least some credibility, even though they don't even deserve any credibility. Because we know that they are notorious for all on democratic principles. So the world is keenly watching. And for me then go for discrediting today, not being warrant, not being called for, but not a way than they do, just for me then get a bad name. But how can you go look for something even when election not done yet? When I get rumors say, then they try for hack into the system where they not get access to neck computer. So the APC
I know, right?
Go quietly, and it is disheartening that the police they go so low. A police where SLPP work for build up during the late Tijan Kabayin time, may in so rest in peace. For let them become a force for reckon with, a professional police. Now they don't go down the drains, you know, just because they want to keep the incumbents in power. It is heart-rending. They're not good for the image of the country, and we hope, say, the outcome, the people have spoken decisively for vote for the SLPP. Nothing is going to stop the Brigadier General Madabio for rule Sierra Leone. We are not going to put up a fight, but we'll resist peacefully, as we campaign manager Dr. Ali Kaba rightly put out a statement tonight in Africa. So we pray for that country, and we hope the outcome of this election will be peaceful. But the APC must go, and the people have voted against them decisively. So that's my contribution. Maybe more will come later. Thanks.
All right, Dennis, thank you very much for calling from the Down Under in Australia. Of course, you always make valuable contributions to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. And so, just like how we brought a talk, today we're not supposed for even the talk about anything of this nature, because today was supposed to be peaceful. We are supposed to be proud as Sierra Leonean citizens, where we country don't go through 11 years of brutal civil war. The civil war we kill about 50,000 Sierra Leoneans, and of course displaced about 2 million Sierra Leoneans, some of whom became refugees across the world. They scatter all over the world. Most did not even return. Now, for us to be upholding democratic values in our country at this point in time, I think it is something that is worth emulating. It's something that is worth for us to be proud of. And for let anybody go try for perpetrate, I mean, you know, that they try for hack into the NEC system. How can they, even the way they set up the whole electoral system, then they can't devote them now all the polling stations and the polling agents they get for sign. For say they agree with the numbers that will come out as results, and then numbers then they get for put them up on the polling station for everybody to see. Then the other numbers the way they don't put together, where the polling agents they don't sign, then put her inside a sealed envelope, and before then they try for go tally and with the regional officers them. So how can anybody manipulate that system? I mean, according to even reports they will get from Bo and Kenema today, the people are very happy with the NEC arrangement, the way the voting process takes place. They are overall happy with it because it's peaceful, it's transparent, you don't get too much, right? So, me fun with them. But you know, now then talk your walking talk, where somebody talk, say, oh, this is na SLPP TV station, or this is na SLPP person. Just because you are saying the fact, and anything all the talk, it get evidence with the backup, right? The APC, if me not been them, I go veer away from any form of intimidation and violence at this particular time, because according to history, even the way where the APC was formed as a political party, then formed on the basis of violence. You know, Shaka Stephen go to London for men and go talk independence talk. He go there, he go vex. He make a claim for say, Samiti Magai they don't sign a secret deal with the British government for a secret arms deal. For say that they give Samiti Magai a lot of arms and ammunition for Brian Kana Salon, so that anybody with former party independence, then they use the gun against you. Now that allegation he come back with. He left them in London, he jump inside plane, come back in a Freetown. He go and tell the railway workers, because now be the Secretary General. He go tell them, say, so una no sabi book. Because you see, by the independence talk, now British people and Sierra Leonean people that really talk. So it looked like they wouldn't sit down at that conference all day. Some English, then they wouldn't talk, they would confuse me, man. So it ended up for come up with this allegation. But anyway, so when it come back and form APC, the only way where the people then go feel their presence was by promoting violence, intimidating people, you know, perpetrating all kinds of things. So this now since 1960, and then it don't continue. And even during the time where the APC they in power, you know, the one-party state, every election where they call was go there. I mean, I want for let anybody who know APC very, very well, or we know their history there, let it tell me if waiting at the talking a lie. Every time we then call election, confusion go there. In fact, anytime we election time they come, people then they run away, either then go now them villages or then go because they know say confusion go happen. Right? And so it is the same thing that has happened again today. Now, me not they blame APC per se. Now the police me they blame. Because the police is supposed to be independent. They're supposed to do their job independent. And, you know, Mr. Ibrahim Samura, when the PRO for the Sierra Leone Police Force, pan the interview it emphasize for say, then get all the equipment, then get all the logistics that they need for police this election. So if you get all the logistics, why you go believe in some fake news about SLPP trying to hack into the NEC system? Why would you believe that? You know, what system are they, you know, are they hacking into? They have not even, you know, then they wouldn't go storm that place. Election, but they still go on. If they don't leave small for me, then close the polls. So, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get for wait because they say that they investigate. We'll get for wait for let the result of this investigation come out. But I don't forget, say, this man wouldn't go attack. It is very likely, very, very potential that Naingo will be the next president of this country. So when you go down intimidate somebody like this now, you can't take over as president. Wait till you go tell her. You know? So this now some of the things that we go on today in Sierra Leone. And it is just appalling. It's very we don't know waiting for say about it. But anyway, me found that the lines are still open. In case you want to call, you can call us now. Let's check the Skype line and see if anybody has tried to contact us on Skype. Not yet. Okay, so we'll leave it as that. But for now, we'll stick around. Okay. Right, my family. Of course, we get somebody on the line. Who is calling?
Giovanni.
Giovanni, yes. You want to make a comment, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Joe, go ahead. Giovanni from California. Is he from California?
No,
oh,
Virginia.
Okay. Oh, Virginia. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I feel God now only God will pay you for the hard work you do for the country.
Thank you, sir.
I know so we're not going to support you. I know this country will do time and money. You don't spend 1 or 2 hours, you try for really promote the country.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the whole election is around the win. But let me come to the point, my brother. We're all there in this country, and this country will copy this country for democracy. We talk about democracy in the whole world, not America will copy. Obama, he has all intelligent information about Russia hacking. Don't even mind you say the president to be, maybe they hacked the system. Obama knew everything that Russia were hacking into the system of America, the great America. He knew, but as a statesman, as independent as they are, they keep tight lip and they allow Donald Trump wins. After that, the point of the case, the issue, now that kind of issue would need for eminence. We not just for the team up and talk about democracy. Because if you say you're a Christian, now Jesus is a father, you don't follow the footsteps of Jesus. If you say you're a Muslim, now Muhammad is a father, you follow the footsteps of Muhammad. As far as democracy and the world concerned, now America would emulate. This is a simple example. Even if our world president to be, maybe they hacked into the system, but for the fact that they don't able to detect them, for the sake of peace, they should have allowed. They should have allowed for peace, for rain, until the result comes out. They get caught on the power, they get other issue. But why they allow the voting went on smoothly when the results started coming in, and they felt intimidated? That's the time they have to attack our general, retire Brigadier Just Manabio. My brother, that don't make sense to Sierra Leone, that don't make sense to me and you, who we will analyze.
Right.
It don't make no sense. But I support you, or I support whoever, because I join you later.
Right.
I believe say 100% our police force should be disbanded after we take power, because we have corrupted a leadership, not the entire police force, but we have corrupted leadership. They don't put in a strategic position. I don't care whatever resources we use for transform police force of Sierra Leone, the police force will never. My advice to General Just Manabio, if you take power, if I believe say he will be president to be, the police force and the first institution that we need for this bound, and come transform the civil servants, because we are talking about free education to SS3. We will never achieve that if we are not able to transform those things. My brother, today I'm watching and listening to Joseph. I don't want to engage you now too much. All right. But those are the things, those are the key things that are projecting. Those are key things that are projecting. And I believe the judiciary, if I don't see this vehicular traffic, whatever ban they impose, it's not about any intimidation. There was no intelligence anywhere, but in favor of APC to rig the election. Right. My brother, I keep my peace because there's no threat anywhere. South and East is peaceful. The threat is in the where the APCs feel they for manipulate. My brother, this I feel say if there's a runoff, if there's a no win, if there's a runoff, we need for the one just wanna be in lawyers, they need for be proactive. Take this issue and discuss, because even though we get respect for Justice Razak, but a past verdict, nobody, no lawyer, not even say a word. That will never happen in the Western world. Me and you know that.
Right.
So that verdict, they need for discussion. A police, it has no right for make a law. Will not say in democracy, only a parliament get right for make a law.
Then they interpret the laws. That's what they do. They enforce
The police are not
in fact, and they enforce them. That's right.
Enforce them, my brother.
That's right. That's right.
The only person who interpret the law is the judiciary.
Yes, that's true.
But I'm disappointed in Drazak, who I don't get high extreme form. It tells you say police will make law. That particular thing, it should be challenged in Supreme Court, because that's the constitutional breach.
Yeah.
If you take the whole thing, but for the fact that he said police for make a law, any body for make a law, that should be challenged. If me, I go from any institution, so should I make a law? No. So that should be in that particular thing we make. As it don't, and that misinterpreter, it's time to be a law right now. But I wanted the lawyers of retired Brigadier Judge Malabio really take that thing very serious.
Right.
I'm disappointed in that particular thing where Drazak said it did not allow both lawyers to argue. That's a disappointment to we, my brother. As I tell you, at the follow up the results, thank you. God bless you. One country, one people.
All right, Brother Vani. Thank you so much for your contributions. We really appreciate you. May God bless you. All right. So now some of the things that will come in. Of course, the lines are still open in case you want for calling and make a comment. But so everything will go on today. Now that's people that they comment on. Of course, we don't show some of the videos, and you don't see waiting happen. Then they transport people them with government motorcar license plates covered. Because then specific motorcar then only government gets them kind of motorcar in there. Of course, allegations about people that they try for interfere with the elections, by manipulating votes them, some polling stations. Of course, we also hear say some people that not turn out for vote now the Northern Province, and of course, would they get a call? And so let's see who is calling. Hello, who is calling? All right, so that person don't hang up. We don't know whether that person will call, but then say about 5% of the 3+ million people will register for votes, they not go receive them voter ID cards. But that no matter. The one that will votes now from there the result they come out. The one that will votes, and so they say according to the National Electoral Commission or the Chief Electoral Commissioner. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte, who talked to an Sheriff's Broadcast Network now, it talks say it will take about 1 week for let the voter, for me they able for announce who that will be the next president of Sierra Leone. So today is Wednesday, so maybe by next week now we'll get the result of the presidential election. And we are not sure, we don't just display the data as they're up there, and based on the data then we're not sure how anybody go win the first round of this election. We probably a runoff election or go day, because it's likely possible that there will be runoff election. And so now that's they go on. So we found them now that they go on right about this time. And so one for me, you continue for stick around as we continue for bringing the program. Stick around.
No skirmishes are taking place. I have a setup to monitor the elections going on around the country. I'm trying to set up a system so that I can have information, primary data, from the stations around the country. So I've just been rudely interrupted by a group of people who came and said they wanted to search for whatever, I don't know. They didn't come with a search warrant. Then I said to them, oh, I won't allow you in my premises without a search warrant. I went back and the promised they were going to come with a number of people. They've come with police dressed in riot gear, and they are out there with a lot of people. So our activities have been disrupted. I just hope that the peace we promised this nation, we can actually deliver. This is a legitimate affair, process. I'm trying to tally, I'm trying to get information about what is happening. Right now, the polls have closed. If I had not been interrupted, I want to finish setting this up so that they can have all the information around the country. I think this is the target of this particular attack on myself and my colleagues here.
Is your activity lead to skirmishes around this vicinity? Can you please explain exactly what is the matter?
No skirmishes are taking place. As you can see, I have a setup to monitor the elections going on around the country. I'm trying to set up a system so that I can have information, primary data, from the stations around the country. So I've just been rudely interrupted by a group of people who came and said they wanted to search for whatever, I don't know. They didn't come with a search warrant. Then I said to them, oh, I won't allow you in my premises without a search warrant. I went back and the promised they were going to come with a number of people. They've come with police dressed in riot gear, and they are out there with a lot of people. So our activities have been disrupted. I just hope that the peace we promised this nation, we can actually deliver. This is a legitimate affair, process. I'm trying to tally, I'm trying to get information about what is happening. Right now,
Let's set an alone at this end happen to riot the alone right now.
Then you don't bring a 3 ID now. You there for sure? You see, huh?
This is not ID card.
Not this now.
This and this, they tell where be snap. When me first not be can this and this, they me give me.
You know they do, sir.
Then they snap me now. When me first can, then they tell me say they say this.
You know they do just now, officer, sergeant. You know they do just now. They use this and this, then go. They tell say, but me name not come.
But not to me.
I can wait. Me first not come. So when you say first not come, NC get this because we have authorized to do so. You understand? When you first not come, they watch to the receipt number, the ID card number. Then they watch unto the RV if it's alley the vote. So the later on, then they go count this back. Yes, me, I don't come for can vote now. So this one go give person because you no get face.
Right.
Now the same thing happen to Station 1.
Me, I
not give nobody.
Because the share number
When
the vote against that name,
against one and one case up one and one case up. When you can get one
this man, they keep the paper there. So they never go ready for Congo. I don't come for that.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They don't do another. You go give us away.
So after who's in getting to clear that year?
So how comes now we put
everything at the same. See, at the same thing that woman do. See, everything at the same.
And this way not
she's not going. Something is not right now. Yeah. Now you get there or two. This you need for go explain who I get there. Huh? Not left and go. You know they go outside.
We then snap them.
That's not my fault. That's all.
It's my fault.
People they say, we know the way someone is saying but we don't see
so this now
with one of the SWAT team under the Sierra Leone People's Party, where they constituency 109. So what's they going on this constituency presently?
This constituency 109 na school. The problem APC they can't tag them. The land the police find the land and go inside. They go do voting or whatever view. Why is the SFP they count their identification and they stop them? You understand? Actima was saying enough of B. They for allow for go inside. They make a challenge the policeman and say no get right for block the SFP. They get accreditation for go inside. When they give permit to the APC people for go inside. Why is who are the block we? Now the trust now where they right now pull apply. So we don't feel right now for say we all get the right for go inside.
So what's the message now to the SFPP aspirants with the aspire and also for the stakeholder for the SFPP?
Well, what we go say to the SFPP aspirants and what are the big one for the party? We send signal to the police and say they're not right for block with people that can't vote. They don't let people get accreditation because they're in governance. They go fake card them. They come in the people and pass inside people and go vote. Why we party then they block we? So on a smart farm, we stand towards that. Follow all for this party.
So you agree to send any reinforcements now?
They for any reinforcements right now that will apply. To only man this lesson because they do dubious act for me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
With one of the SWAT team under the Sierra Leone People's Party, where they constituency.
Alright, so my family and those then some of the videos that were coming today, of course during this election day, and some of the videos then the one that we were able to see, and so it was a big day in Sierra Leone today, and of course plenty of things that happened. So this election pass we see waiting the National Electoral Commission get for say based on everything we'll get today, because from all fronts there are things that happen today, right? So let us see. But coming back to the Brigadier General, you know, I know see every presidential candidate today, whatsoever then they can work on trying to contact their polling agents. For me, they know waiting at the votes then when they come in. Because every polling station gets a political party agent, a polling agent where they represent a political party. So according to the way they set the system for this election, when they don't close voting at 5 p.m., then for count all the votes and where they vote now at that specific polling station, and in the presence of the election observers and party agents. So if the party agents they agree with the way they count the votes them, Then they sign a document with all the results and where they panam. For say they agree. And when they sign them, then get for paste at the polling station for let all man see for say now this way people then vote now this particular polling station. And then that same result they then the full and put her inside a sealed envelope where nobody not able for open past the headquarters now they open them. So all the results that whether they collect, then they tally them at the tally center and send them to the regional officers before they go to Freetown. So meaning that before even the NEC office they know waiting at the vote with people that don't vote, of course the people that will vote then go don't know already. But anyway, when they get a call, they come in. So let's see who that person is. Hello, who is calling?
Hello?
Yes, who is on the line?
Mr. Williams. How are you?
I'm doing great. You want to make a comment on the program?
Well, I know who's channel that? Who's say you did?
Now, you have just called and I don't know, you want to make a comment? Other people that they call. Okay, hold on, yeah. Hello, who's calling? Okay, that person always is there. Okay, Jonathan, you got to go to Facebook. You remember I spoke to you about this, right?
Yes. Well,
you have to go to Facebook.
I don't do that Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, you're not going to see me right now. Somebody they call. Hold on. Yeah. Hello. 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 Okay. So anyway, now that's they go on, and so me farm with them. So all man they try for tally, then results them. So it is any responsible presidential candidate now this for they do on this day, you know? Okay, hold on. Hello? 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 All right. That person they Hello? Hello?
Yes. What's the situation now? Now they don't make it count?
Election, yeah, you know, say, depending on where you are. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the state.
From what part? Is it the East Coast, West Coast?
From Maryland.
Maryland. If you are calling from Maryland, then you are 5 hours behind Sierra Leone. At 5 p.m. Sierra Leone time, now then close all the polling, the election today. So they don't count, then they can count, and probably they don't even done by now for count. So would they just talk about what happened today? Would they share videos and would the people that they call in? Then would they talk about that? So Mr. Williams, you are far behind this whole thing. Yeah, you they far behind. You are far behind the information.
Yes, I know. Yeah, very far behind the information. Yes,
yes,
I'm very, very far away.
Yes.
So I just want to know what they don't make it count now. They don't make it count.
No, you go only. We gonna know who the next president of Sierra Leone is after 1 week, according to the chairman of the National Electoral Commission who interview. Now that's gonna be. And so, matter of fact, yeah, after 1 week. So, Mr. Johnson, we'll get for left now. We'll get something else coming up. And so, we get for actually bring that interview. We will give the National Electoral Commissioner for Leone go see once more before we do anything. So, stick around as we try for bring that.
For will learn to treat each other the way you want another person to treat you. It's a billionaires, genius, peace, love, and harmony. Together we go and say peace, love, and harmony.
All right, and so me from them next per your own request to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Una one follow will talk finally before election to the chairman of the National Electoral Commission. Of course, we don't talk to him plenty time now, and we don't express una satisfaction with how it do in work. Of course, very transparent, very ready at all times. Of course, even though it's busy, they taking time for talk to una. So we don't bring Mr. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte again today for talk to him exclusively before the March 7 general elections in the country we get for be on this coming Wednesday. And of course, Mr. Conte there on the line now from Freetown. Hello, Mr. Conte. How do you do, sir?
Fine, thank you, Brian.
That's good. How Freetown, how everything? You know, so we can always ask you that question first because we care about you in as much as they provide public service to the country, but we also care about you and your own family. So how is everybody doing in the family?
Well, thank God, the family okay. We have been sick for some time, but thank God, okay now.
Okay.
And we're ready now for the 7th March 2018 elections. We will begin on Wednesday.
Okay, so we wish you good health and well body as we go into the election. Of course, as you know, the fate and the future of Sierra Leone rests quietly in you and the people that they work with now, the National Electoral Commission. So this election to come will be one for talk to you today about how prepared is the National Electoral Commission for ensure say there is a free, fair and credible elections in the country.
Well, thank you very much, Ibrahim, and the family them over there. Well, we, the National Electoral Commission, we fully prepared for the 7th March 2018 election. Family when I know 4 elections will conduct same day. One for president, the other for members of parliament, and the other for local council election, 2 local council elections, 1 member of parliament, 1 presidential. So we prepare right now. We get the logistics, we get money through the government and people of Sierra Leone, and also the contributions from the international community. Right now, last week we get the ballot papers, for the whole country, for all the 4 elections. UNDP helped for print the ballot papers in South Africa. Now we get them. We also get all the materials. So we don't even send all the materials in the respective districts. Then also, we don't train, we staff them. We don't recruit them, we don't train them. So they're all ready now. We'll deploy them starting from maybe from tomorrow or next tomorrow. So we are actually ready. We also don't get international observers all over the world. From the EU, from African Union, from ECOWAS, and some other countries, they all don't come to observe the election. Right. So on our side, we're definitely ready. Campaigns and they go on, and then the day now towards the last day. The last day of the campaign will be tomorrow. So we'll campaign tomorrow, but next tomorrow a full off day we call up. So both parties in the campaign, and generally the campaigns then peaceful. Of course, you get skirmishes, some violence, such inside and day, but not the end one we will say will actually disrupt the peace of the country. The police themselves, of course, you don't talk to them, security-wise, themselves, they work together. But generally, we're really prepared now.
Okay, and so just like how you don't talk, most of the voting materials and then are all the districts then now, and so is that another way of saying then are all the polling centers? You know, now by the time when the election they happen, they're all for them then polling centers then.
Yes. Then they are the districts. Then now all the 16 districts they are not on. Then from tomorrow now they begin sending now the polling centers. That make we don't. They now do the last training of the lower cadre of polling staff.
Okay.
So that's now. So by tomorrow they begin deploy them. Okay. Then we also want to do now regional tally centers. Now they will therefore tally the results. Okay. After Wednesday. Then Wednesday next, we will begin for tally the results at regional level. For the east, Nabo Town. Sorry, Nakenema. For the south, Nabo Town. For the north, Makini and Boloko. And the western area, Freetown. So they do regional tally centers, but at district level inside the region. So they will tally the results. You know. Right now, we don't do accreditation, we don't accredit the international observers, both local and international. Okay. So we're ready now, actually.
Okay, you know, because one of the concerns where plenty Sierra Leoneans then get, now after we people that don't vote done, that polling, that ballot box, whether they take and travel with and go to another place before then they go count. Now that's the worry people then foresee. Between that travel, this Boku thing could happen with that ballot box, we will not go able to forget the actual figure of people that will vote for a specific political party. Is that something we concern una or una don't take care of them?
Well, I mean, with respect, people then get it wrong. We don't move with any ballot box after voting. Okay. The polling station, which are then they will count. Okay. Now they will count and the ballot box and they in the open. Not to like force them to go eat marble down a paper and they outside. Voting are from 7 o'clock in the morning, saloon time, to 5 o'clock with them. People then see this like the queue at the line. They will do sometime up to 1 hour. As they're done, let's say by 6 o'clock saloon time, then they begin for count. Right. So they count until up to 12 o'clock or after midnight. Then when they're done, they begin the results papers and back to the political party agents. So what we get for travel with now, now the results. The results, when they don't get them from the polling station with the poster, all man know. They put an entire what we call the tamper evidence envelope. A plastic kind of envelope. When you lock them, you know they open. So they don't go to the district level. Okay. So we let it travel with ballot box at all.
That's good. Yeah, because in 1996, Mina be one of the polling officers then at Kenema, and I so been do exactly. So, Mr. Conte, so if like they don't vote now, you know, they don't count, and the political parties, the agents, they're all day presently there. When I don't count, they don't know the figures. Now, before they travel with that result, they go don't tell Unana Freetown at the neck or headquarters for let Una know waiting at the results at a particular polling station, or when I go wait, make them travel with the physical document itself.
We do is that the political parties and observers, they know the results before ever we didn't know. Before me, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, they know. Okay. So then they go and then all we need for doing the result with the transport the results now at the district level, then from the district level now to the regional level. The regional level now then they tally them. Like when you talk about Kenema, when the results then come out now Kenema, right? Then they can of course enter Kenema. So when they come out, then they can bring the can of Kenema town. Now the result, now they will begin tally them. Okay. In the presence of observer and the presence of political party agents, etc., etc. But by then, some political parties are then constituents, then centers, and then we don't know their own results there.
Right, before you even know. Results. Right. And so, in essence, how long would they expect for actually get the final result of the election, especially the presidential?
Well, we hope the presidential within a week.
Okay, within a week.
One make sure announce the results 1 week after the election date. Okay. All the other hand, you know now the other members of parliament are 132 constituencies. That may take time. Then the rewards are one for local council are 446. That may also take time. But one for make sure we don't away with the presidential election. To announce that a week later.
Okay. And so, you know, the voter registration cards, then we know say some day way some people are not be able to go pick up. Is that substantive enough for make it go create any reason of concern for say some people not can't take the voter registration cards and therefore maybe it go impact elections? Is that something when you think about?
No, well, it not going to impact anything. Well, people they don't really collect them cards. Of course, we still get some few cards now at the district level. Well, we don't stop for actually these cards now from the top. But even the one who will not get cards, really, on election day, if you register, you name them that we register you for 2 days, you will go or go vote. The only thing we'll ask you questions, we'll also ask you for let you tell some other thing for identify you because you not get you voter identity card.
Okay.
So you can go, no one disenfranchise anybody, will allow you for vote, but you have to prove say that you're not the person. And let us not forget Fambulian. On the register, we'll get the photo of everybody who is in register. Get other details. We ask that, for instance, in Mama name, Papa name, we ask all them questions indeed.
Okay. And so, well, yeah, that is a good thing. How about security? Hello? Yeah, hello? You get me, Mr. Conte?
Hello. Yeah, they get you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So how about security? You know, when I get any concerns for security, or as far as security is concerned, NEC is fine?
Well, security is a concern, really. But we are in the police and work together. I mean, a lot of preparations on there, and they don't show we. But I mean, then they provide security. So when they work actually,
okay.
You know? So not too, we worry really, but not too much.
Okay.
See, I mean, we'll all be able to do in collaboration with the police, the other security forces, and even with the political parties.
Okay. And so, you know, like we're saying, a concern, is there something specific where you go able to elaborate on now, or because of security reason you don't want to talk about that?
Well, no, I mean, the only concern are the political parties themselves, they rarely get concerned. I mean, they trust on the Sierra Leone police. I actually look low to them.
Okay.
But the police don't assure them, they don't assure all, really. But they get a lot of suspicions on the police.
Okay.
Really, yes.
Right.
But well, some of them really not so true. But now they own suspicion, and then concerns in Dandy, and they are very much concerned. We understand and concern. So now we all strive our means and join together and discuss their concerns. We don't them really.
Okay. So what do you think as a chairman of NEC, what do you think about the police, they restrict movements of certain, you know, vehicles, peoples, you know, we don't really say they're not really restrict a movement of people, because if they do that, people are not going able for vote. But when you don't vote, don't not go tinap around the polling station, tinap a little far away so that other people then will get chance for come. What do you think about that general statement about restriction of movement?
Well, the restriction of movement, naturally, in 2012, then wow.
Okay.
So when the police and they work together, honestly, I mean, what the police and what they agree on, not a complete ban on movement. One SLRT, that is the Local Transport Authority, the corporation, they give 70 buses, 40 na Freetown, then the other 30 na the district for Kirkwood, and they free of charge. Government don't pay for that.
Okay.
Then besides, you also get additional mosquito on commercial basis. Very few. But then if you need to go with the free bus, you will go with the commercial buses where you pay. But we don't allow anybody to take their own vehicle for go around. First one, the way we accredit. Don't let the accredited people there, and mostly are institutions. And then the political parties, every political party, they give them 10 accreditations at the district level. So so generally, well, some political parties get concerned over that. The police can come up with a memorandum of understanding. Some parties they don't sign to the SLPP, NGC, and a few others. But most other political parties actually don't sign. You know. Okay. So, well, the Nigerian restrictions, now mostly now the urban areas. The rural areas, bikes can go, then they fly the street.
Okay.
The rural areas. Yes.
Okay, well that's good. So as far as the elections is concerned, you feel say everything is totally in place and that there are no reasons for people to be concerned?
No reason not for let people them concerned.
Okay.
Everything they in place. I mean, from USA, electoral materials, I say don't go, don't do recruitment, don't do training, you know. Now we get logistics, we get money for conduct elections, for pay staff, don't buy materials, and the preparation is high. And we say the spirit high amongst we staff.
Okay. You know, in 1996, Dr. James Jonah began to face some personal security issues, threats, you know, on a live. They even to a bomb in office suicide been there. You know, as a chairman of the National Electoral Commission, I mean, even the police, they say they don't receive some threats on their lives, you know. You don't receive any kind of threats, you know, like that?
Well, that's a long time now, we receive threats, but I think now I don't know normal.
Okay.
And Ibrahim Sheriff say I don't live on this road
for a long time, right?
And I open up with all the police.
Right.
I open up with all the political parties. I think they have confidence in me. Generally, Sierra get confidence in me.
Yes.
Because when they don't work and the city, I mean, are ready for make sure things go straight. And we meet every week with the political parties. I think things will go on fine.
Okay, well that's good, that's good. Well, I think say you don't handle all side. We just the hope say you continue to feel well, let you feel better. The future of Sierra Leone is in your hands, and of course we know you from the time when you're a teacher in Islamic secondary school, you did national election business, you know, so you don't take Panam, you know, we know that, you know, we thank you very much. So Mr. Conte, you get any final word where you want for say to Famudem?
Well, I just want to tell you, family, Uganda and the whole world and the particular Leoneans, for say, cause not for really worry. We just need the cooperation of everybody, people and prayers. I mean, this is our country for let make sure things move. And we want to assure everybody, say, we, the National Electoral Commission, ready for conduct credible elections. So that's why, but we will go only do with the cooperation of all stakeholders, political parties, the Sierra Leone police, ONS, I mean, and the general public. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Conte. We wish you all the best in the discharge of your duties. And of course, after election, we say go in at the ground. I will come meet you personally, you know. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right, Ibrahim. Thank you very much.
Right, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that na be Mr. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte, of course, Lekauna Nwam. That was the man we neither in charge of the entire electoral process in the country, neither in charge of the elections in the country. Of course, they now the man that one day we get for announce would I get for be the next president of Sierra Leone. Mr. Mohammed Infa Ali Conte, na man we don't tape election business na Sierra Leone. From the time we're in a teacher na Islamic secondary school in Kenema, of course, if we don't depart this election business. Anytime where election business come, then they go. They don't get a lot of trainings, both inside the country and outside of the country. And so he has always been like that. Not, you know, the move him. He is just quiet, peaceful, and believe in forwardness. Right? And so my family, that's not the election today. And so before we close down the broadcast, we just want to go back to very important numbers them, just like how we don't analyze the numbers. Then we want to continue to analyze the numbers there. So because a very important and critical in this election business. Wait till we look at now the 2015 population and housing census report where Statistics Sierra Leone began for issue out there. Of course, according to that report, you know, in the northern province, they'll be able to count up to 2,502,805 Sierra Leoneans in the northern province, and of course in the eastern province they've been count up to 1,641,012 people in eastern province. In southern province they may count up to 1,438,572 people in the southern province. And of course, how about the western area? The western area they begin for count 1,493,252 people in that election. Now that they be able for count, right? Those are the numbers in 2015. Of course, then are the Statistics Sierra Leone, where now they're responsible for counting Sierra Leoneans. Now they present that specific report to the country, Sierra Leone, of course. So now that's not been the numbers them in those times. Of course, the numbers then they're very important also in you know, this election business, and we get to see how important those numbers are. Now let's take a look at this other number right here. This number, what would they look at now? This now the NEC certified voters. That now after the entire voter registration process, now this number NEC begin for come out with this very number what they see now. So now NEC begin for come up with as the total number of people that they register for vote for this election. 3,128,967 people now then register for vote for this election. And we don't hear it today say about 5% of that number they not go get them voter registration card, so meaning that they not vote today. And we also hear you say the voter turnout being a little poor in the northern province. We don't know how true that information is, but they say some people they not agree for turnout for votes na then side and day, you know. So we don't know, it might be true or not, but we reporters the way they report na that angle from Kamalu, Bombali district generally, Tego na Tonkolili, the Mohammed Kabawi report from that angle, then that na be the reports way again. But anyway, this is not the voter registration certified numbers them. So let's start from the northern province. In the northern province, according to the National Electoral Commission, then divide northern province into two regions and get a northern region and northwestern region. Northwestern region then take them around them, put local areas there so where they close to Freetown, and then up here then take them as northern region. So when they combine the two regions them, they're able to come up with 998,760 people that will register for votes in the northern region, almost 1 million people, right? In the eastern province, they be able to register up to 619,229 people now they register for votes now the eastern province. Southern province they're able to register 620,826 people now they register for votes now the southern province, and of course western area 890,152 people now they register for vote now inside there. So now if we get for attach a specific political parties and to then regions they are, so like how we don't see now you go see say the northern region they now the stronghold of the All People's Congress way now the incumbent political party now then stronghold that one day, and of course you know now this area this is all an area that is the APC is strong in, but then that of their you know strength has been threatened by the emergence of two political parties, the National Grand Coalition and the Alliance Democratic Party. Then two political parties they don't strengthen, don't threaten the APC strength in the northern province, and so we understand why they will try for go after you know Kande Koleyon Kela in the citizenship, because they know say if he continue for staying in the race it threaten them votes and seriously. And of course we also get Mohammed Cameron by Mansare where they don't all put on a jail, they don't do all kinds guarantee with him, but he stayed in the game. And so then here they are, so that they threaten votes there, because there is no doubt that the NGC is going to take substantial votes away from the APC in this region. And the Alliance Democratic Party, headed by Mohamed Kamirimba Mansoure, is also going to take away votes from the APC in that area. Now, for the Sierra Leone People's Party, this is their stronghold, the southeastern part of the country. This is their stronghold. This is where SLPP as a political party is very strong. But also, the SLPP itself gets a threat now the Kono axis because of the emergence of the Coalition for Change, headed by Alhaji Samuel Samsumana, when the former vice president of the country, itself now. So now this Kono axis is going to take away votes from the SLPP in that axis. Well, by actually going by historical, electoral history, we know say Kono has always been a swing state, not ever stable. No one party between the SLPP, APC, no one of them not go ever knock chest for say, oh, Nami gets Kono. You know, then they do things then depending on how you behave to them. So right now we don't know whether, you know, but we know say they elect them brother, then elect Alhaji Samuel Samsumana by the numbers they all they see. So if they decide for stand with Alhaji Samsumana, then substantial amount of votes will be taken away from the SLPP and I think the APC as well in that axis, because yanda, just like I would say, a swing area, right? And so how about Freetown? Freetown is everybody's part. And then all man gets the, so all the political parties then get forget half and half a day. Of course, SLPP will get a substantial vote in Freetown, and this is because of history. According to history, the way people and the pattern of voting at Freetown, you know, whenever thing don't tranga, the first people the way they begin feel am na Freetown. So once Freetown don't turn against government, it is very likely for say that government they not go able for stay, not go able for survive. And when they see the numbers, then anytime we SLPP presidential candidate come out, how it poll numbers, like the 1 million man match where they do na stadium, we see how the numbers then turn out. So it is very likely, that is our projection, that it is very likely that, you know, SLPP get forget a very substantial vote na the western area, and of course APC get forget votes there, NGC get forget votes. In fact, NGC go get more votes na Freetown as well, because NGC, you know, it's not a political party where they appeal more to people that will go school, at least up to college level, where they understand the issues properly. So that Freetown then kind of people in there, so NGC go able for make inroads over there. So based on all of these dynamics we involved in this election right now, and then numbers that they all don't break them down, it is very likely for say no one presidential candidate go able for poll 55% in this first round of election. This we might be very wrong or we might be right, but we are strongly thinking that there may be a runoff election as far as this 2018 election is concerned in Sierra Leone, based on all of the analysis that we don't do. But anyway, with people that they all over the country, they try for tally the results them. So once we begin for get the results, then they come in, you know, maybe by tomorrow, the other day, or by the weekend, we're gonna able for know where the political parties stand, right, in this whole thing. But for now, that is exactly what is going on. These are the numbers, you know, and based on then facts, then they Naime could talk say probably na so the election get for be, na so the results get for come out to be, right? And so, me family them, we want for make una stick around as we continue for bring camp programs to you. Of course, we'll go towards the end of the program now. So for today until the weekend again, but intermittently, if anything happen with a serious thing, we'll go able for bring camp to you. So stick around with us.
want him back. They are ready for him.
His Excellency Samura Kamara, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Well, you touch Kande, you touch Andrew, we will suffer. Who will this world to? We will want change. Well, let the left we are.
Sugar music.
Then they say oh blow behind governments, not all see for blame governments for them, so pass smack.
And now, right from the horse's mouth.
You mentioned that when you saw the state or somebody's lie during your campaign, you felt it was unforgivable. Who or what will you blame for that? But I'm blaming government.
What I don't try na puma. It's a little day when I go big diamond lost in my room. Everybody do everything by the camp. Election coming sooner. It's a little day when I go 99 silent pattern. Everybody do everything by the camp. You want get to pass me weather. It's a little day when I go the people say them tired. Everybody do everything by the camp. Man now I left the power. Man's hot for the power. No one go, you want for super. We the one we go secure in pockets. So in hand still go there on the power. I mean them being say it's tired. Not to like I say we know no. Only don't it in them and then they do how the country go bro. Then on the girl side and then juju now them dirty to forgo. They want fat in the pig on no markets. They this to go to work don't do it. I don't know nothing now. Now they belly they no more nobody good work. Bye bye for my me. We don't suffer too much up on this good work. One mama don't we good don't do it. Bye bye for my me. Where them they show it anchor, and they like say, no. Since Caesar the vantage pan, the people and say now we the pan. We know say the pan a mortal man, not all team the bag. No but if a pack for him people man them life them for they grow. But to them sit down for thief. And you do anyhow no hesitation. Busy they cook for jama, poto rest sour soup. Where we they grumble, they say he left 40 more year from manipulate. They know I make a man them elevate. They know I make begin them educate. When man them sit down they meditate. Them some corner one then go eat people them money for go make a. Don't then come put to toll gate up on toll gate. The country had it like the concrete. People them they run go away to where they no say them dump well yeah. Then send them home and go bump picking at the states. Ranka one then they generate. Sober man then no get chance for vibrate. The way we they feel, no psychiatrist, no able evaluate. Wait by the power na chocolate we want if man bet. He peel the packet, give the other one back. What I don't try na kuma. It's a little bit where I know I'm big diamond and lost na luma. Everybody glad everybody come. Election coming sooner. It's a little bit where I know I'm 99 silent pattern. Everybody glad everybody come. The one gets past me weather. It's a little bit where I know I'm. The people say they're tired. Everybody glad everybody come. Them say the man at the top say me they not give me national stadium. The pride the baba. Just because the baba not grief for bow. Big man no vex ya, not to all man go bow. Some of we not to only God who they bow. We know they bow down to corruption. I tell them doubt. Then see me get a big mouth. Man them don't left palability. They left we all for money. Because them be one's position. Political connection. Also for the brown envelope collection. I see man then they battle corruption. While the country they ban relegation. Then guys they want play with we intellects. With the money they want buy the election. They want play with for formation. Then they pull all kind of pattern for the election. One big fool. It's too good to work, don't do it. Now they belly they no more nobody good work. We don't suffer too much upon this good work. One mama don't be good, don't do it. Where then they show it and cut and they like say, Caesar the vantage pan, the people and say, now we the we no say the pan a mortal man, not to all things the bag or no, but if a pack for him people man them life them you don't touch we bad, but you fail we bad. We mean they feel say you go tell we say sorry, say you go die for you bully way up, but you bully way. Make an lie, just can't see big advantage, can we no more? Oh, how otin ka connecting, tutumoko pati ka connecting. All I am a finna, tank. All I am a list, I will take a ticket. The band sets a men long touching. If I go about the mutation for so from Suye Uncle Taisu, our marane back, Catolanian. I know say make you no campaign, but wait, it's for so. I they buy or eat all the flesh, bandy rooster. Now they dance to a guy, bandy rooster. 10,000 one follow for moral booster.
Who or what will you blame for that? But I blame government.
Now they dance to a guy and the booster. 10,000 one follow for moral booster. Everybody glad you can go. It's a little because we know see the song not go end if I'm not talking nothing. We do remember with that Brabin just win the American presidency. When they threaten with people them say, as in win so they send them come back now the African countries there. The kind and got to family them in the can not be small. But then they all don't pass now. Next thing we call we na shit hole. You see? Pity I don't begin inside. But even though he molest we, he still talk true. He say we leaders then they thief money but keep on them country. He say we institutions they're not the work and we not even able to feed we self. He say already we they eat na import we they import them. That man they na pity I man but he talk true. Bottom line they don't notice say every day we they run away from our own countries then for go flop them country. Because of the hardship and corruption problems so we leaders then don't put with them. Media family we don't accept the corrupt system.
them where they always say, yeah, lawyer is fast, I don't know for change. If you not be no be steady. We family staff where they overseas them don't tire for send money for we. We feel say being family we don't take overseas. One for sit down with man country. Pankol, they make the one with the thief. We then get it and say now we get the problem. Because we look so man so big, we no send to Superman this way for all this country. We say because our party put out the vote for her. The reason why we talking now for like no go vote for man because when now we need you, you can give small money, you fool, you grab go vote for him. After election, it change up and we all man they all begin suffer. Then you begin cry poor, add up and angry. You see man in a street and you begin say, "Bra, your body wait till they happy now." Go me man, go waiting. Go you back, go left. No, you know do that this way. Left. You don't do that left. And I hope say the parliamentarians the way they represent you now.
All right, of course, my family and so now we get for end the broadcast for today. We started since this morning. Of course, we don't depend a whole day. So now we get for end them now. And of course, you will not meet up the beginning of this. You can watch the recorded version just 2 minutes after we'll shut down. You go able for watching live. But one for say a lot of thanks to each and every one of you out there for we are able for follow it today. And of course, we for say congratulations to all of us Leoneans for we were able to uphold the tenets of democracy again once more in our country. Of course, despite everything else would go on, but we don't send a strong message to the whole world that no matter what, the people of Sierra Leone are ready to uphold the values of democracy. And that happened today. So all the other rest of things that will happen, we would go and talk about them now. We would go and investigate and talk about them as we go along. But I want to take this opportunity for telling all plenty thank you for everything. And of course, this is how we are going to end it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. This is definitely how we are going to end it tonight. All right. So good night.
It's regarding the Inspector General who was saying that they're in charge of security, blah blah blah. Yeah, which is quite right. But improper that movement and the movement of people stricter and the, we're not there at war.
Right.
Even during the time where the country is at war, people were afraid. Election day was just like any other day.
3.1 million people were registered. And honestly, problems they cannot even reach 1%. As a patriotic Sierra Leonean, as a true Sierra Leonean. But at the background, we get people that don't go out for the real electoral.
They asked me, are you? Why is it that 3 of the top members of C4C are lawyers? There's Judah, there's Kevin, there's me, and a bunch of others in Sierra Leone. My response was this: so that the next president of Sierra Leone that C4C helps to elect understands one thing: we ain't gonna let you break the law.